the one and only Larry Anderson. Of course, people around here remember Larry Anderson because of the Jeff Bagwell trade. That's what's talked about. But you also had some great times here in Houston.
Yes. Yeah, this was, I think, for me, actually, if Cleveland would have gotten the playoffs, I was asking people, what do I do? I came up with Cleveland. 10 years in the organization. The first time I went to the big leagues with Cleveland, Frank Robinson was my manager. The longest tenure I had in one team was 5 years, was here in Houston, and my best years, pitching-wise, with San Diego, I went there, signed as a free agent after the Bagwell trade in collusion, so I signed with San Diego and made my biggest contract. And then with the Phillies, I've been with them twice, and both times we're in the World Series, so it's like, I don't know who to root for here. But actually, I do know now.
Yeah, you know who to root for, and who is that? Of course, the Phillies, right?
The Phillies, yes. But I've always have a soft spot in my heart for Houston. I always will. I really will. And so for me, this is a great matchup.
Okay, I was talking with some of the guys from the 1980 team. You were not on that, but you were with Terry Poole and guys like that with the 1986 team, Craig Reynolds. We were going back to the only other time that the Phillies and Astros played in the postseason, 42 years ago, and they're still upset to this day. You know how you baseball players are.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, that series was, it's still, I think in 80, had to be the greatest all-around playoff series in baseball. Just down to the wire, every game, every little thing mattered, and for every single game it was like that. I mean, you're just nail biting constantly, your heart's pounding, knees knocking, but that was just a tremendous series, and hopefully we'll have another one like that.
Well, one thing about these two teams, I mean, they have some similarities. You guys really slug the baseball. The Astros are capable of doing that too. I think the Astros have the edge in pitching, which you know a lot about, defensively maybe, but they know how to win. These guys both have something, that innate ability to call upon reserves to win baseball games. The other teams that have been eliminated didn't have that.
Right. I think that's one of the biggest things with this ball club is the resiliency. They didn't cruise through the season. They had stretches where they played terrible. A lot of teams do, but we had a number of those situations. But these guys, every time it kept coming back to where you're gonna fade in September like you have the last few years. They all kept saying, "Doesn't matter. This is a different team, different players. We're not fading. And every time their backs were against the wall, they came up big. And that's why, for me, the way things have gone in this playoffs, what they've done. I know everybody's favoring Houston, but for me, I would not bet against the Phillies. I put it that way.
I want to talk with you about changing a manager in the season and making it to the World Series. How does that happen?
It's been incredible. The switch from, obviously we got off to a slow start the first couple months, and I think that's part of the expectations of the fans there. Why they've come so close to this team now is because their expectations were so high at the start, and they failed for 2 months. And then all of a sudden they make the managerial change. Schwarber goes on a hot streak in June. And I think Rob Thompson has been a big factor in that, managing this club, letting the guys be themselves, letting them play, letting them go out. And I think he's really helped the young players who've done a tremendous job, the Stotts, the Beerlings, guys at Matons, you don't hear a whole lot about. But they've been a big part of what this club is doing, and I think Rob Thompson is the reason for that. And then with the rest of the guys, he's just like, you guys go play. And the confidence and the trust he has in these players is huge, and the players feed off of that.
Oh man, I love to hear that. That's how you put together and hold together a winning program. Now, Larry's one of the biggest pranksters I've ever been around in baseball. Now, every time, not every time, but a lot of times I'd be interviewing another player, and if it wasn't Larry, he would come up and start this belching routine. Do you still do that? Because it was so annoying back in the day.
Oh, very annoying.
Can you set one off for us?
I can't do what I did. I wish my daughter was here because she's taken over for me, and she's really good. I'm serious, Matt. I'm not kidding. Those days are long gone. My voice isn't what it was. But, I look back and I'm like, what did I do that? What was I doing this for? But it was just, I remember having John Goodman coming down and bowing down to my feet after we had a belching contest in L.A. I was like, I don't know what that was about, but it was fun. And it was only after wins, of course.
Larry, so great to see you.
Good
and
to see you.
Be fun bouncing around here during this series.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
The one and only Larry Anderson, former Astro, former Philly.